Oh, my God. What is that? Round number 1?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, man, that's spicy, my friend.
Yeah.
Spicy meatball. My goodness. That's right. For round number 1, we went to Twitter and Instagram and asked you, the listener, what smell immediately reminds you of the military? And we're talking, if you smelled it again, it would take you right back to that place and time in the military. And we got, combined between Twitter and Instagram, over 1,000 answers from listeners going through them.
Well, we got 1,000 replies. I think we actually got like 20 things.
Yeah, because people had
It's the same shit.
A lot of the same answers. And there's like a top 10 that everybody, I think, universally, but we also got some really unique and cool answers too. Start with us, Captain Cons. He's not here today, but he said footballs.
What a terrible answer.
What a weird answer. Footballs and caviar.
Terrible.
I guess that's
way
an
to
officer.
force it. Oh yeah, we get it. You like football,
right? And caviar. I mean, again, I'm enlisted, so I'm not sure, but
cigars.
Our guy Kyle, who does an amazing job on our social media, said a sleeping bag you never cleaned, but always smashed down and put away after the field, and always said you'd clean it next time, but you never did till you turned it back into SIF. That a lot of people said just walking into the SIF where they keep all the gear, that smell is just.
And it's unbelievable that it smells that way because everything's there clean because you have to do it for hours to get it back in there.
They turn you away so many times. But yes, a sleeping bag, like moldy gear. There's something about moldy gear. He also said boot camp originals. This, I didn't know this as a lady that didn't give us the colognes. Cobra 65 cologne for men and Bulldog USMC cologne.
See, I didn't have those. I had the Aquavelva is the one that we had, the blue.
A ton of people said that.
And they would, do you know what they would do?
No.
So whenever you would you'd have this, the drill instructor would come out and he would be like, scuzz brush the bulkhead, scuzz brush the bulkhead, aye sir.
Yeah.
And then you would take your little rag and they would dump, I think it was Gain. They would dump Gain laundry detergent all over the deck and then you had to make it really wet and clean it. And then after you're done and you dry the deck, then they would take, one recruit would give his Aquavelva to the drill instructor, and then the drill instructor would come through and just pour it all the way through, and it would just smell like Aquavelva to cover up the ass of the 60 or 70 dudes that were in there.
We did the scuzz, but we did not. They did not come through with the Aquavelva. But yeah, a ton of people said Aquavelva. But the Bulldog cologne, he has the picture of the bottle here.
He still has it.
Oh my God.
We make fun of me for being ate up still, like about being ate up Marine. Kyle has all the stuff. He even had like his green monster, like all the different knowledge questions that you're supposed to have, like the history of the Marine Corps, all the life-saving steps and shit like that. He still has his green monster. That's a motivator.
Yeah, we're making fun of you, Kyle. You're a dork for keeping all that stuff. Just kidding. You're fantastic. Other common answers were CLP, which is what you use to clean your rifles and all that stuff.
Unless you're pregnant.
Unless you're pregnant. That stuff gets deep into your skin and hands, too. You smell that forever afterwards. And remember they called them donkey dicks?
Oh, yeah.
The big old brush that you go up to the armor window. I need a donkey dick, please.
There was a kid that whenever I was in Okinawa, he asked one of our staff sergeants, he was like, why is it called a donkey dick? He's like, seriously?
Yeah.
Because it looks like a donkey dick.
It's a big old hanging donkey dick.
What does CLP stand for?
Cleaning lubricant product.
I'm glad you answered that because I was like, gosh, I really have no idea. I just know chemicals. Chemicals loose and pouring on the... No. Simple Green, Fabuloso, and Pine Sol in the cleaning department.
Simple Green is my personal number one answer.
Yeah.
If I smell Simple Green, it immediately takes me back. Brasso, too. Simple Green and Brasso are my number one and number two.
A lot of people said Brasso, and there was another kind of like shoe shiner stuff that they had to use. But Simple Green, my God, it was like the cheapest possible. I'm sure the government had a contract with them to get it in bulk on the... And they never gave you real paper towels. It was always like a newspaper material, so that you could never quite scrub anything clean, and then you get bitched at and screamed at for not scrubbing it clean. But yeah, any kind of like below name brand cleaning product. Ton of people said JP8 and diesel fuel. Also, porta shitters at CalWill713 said, when I walk by a porta potty that hasn't been cleaned in a month and it's 100 degrees outside, anybody, whatever branch you're in, you know that
It's
smell.
the blue liquid that goes in there that everybody can smell.
Yeah.
You walk in, you smell the blue liquid, it immediately takes you back. When we went out to San Francisco and I was hanging out there, whenever we did the hand gliding video, I walked into a porter shitter because I had to really go because we stopped at that fancy...
Yeah, it just takes you right back.
It does.
MRE chemical heating packet, chewing tobacco, the dip spit, the cans of dip spit. A ton of people were saying French Creek, like 10 different people said it in the answers. and then it smelled like shit. I don't know what French Creek is, but
it's a place on Camp Lejeune.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I believe you guys if that's what you're saying. And a lot of women were saying cheap Bath and Body Works sprays. At Diane St. Patrick said, Victoria's Secret body spray is all we had in basic to feel like females. To this day, I cringe in that store. We didn't have Victoria's Secret body spray when I was in. I don't know but I definitely know when I got to MOS school, like after the showers, after PT, women would like douse themselves in that shit.
Axe is obviously like any basic boot smells like Axe. You just try to cover up the smell of your own nuts with Axe body spray, and that's the way it goes down. My one that I thought of last night whenever we were sitting there, wheat snack bread.
Oh, yeah.
Wheat snack bread has a very distinct
that sucker
smell.
Open.
Obviously, Brasso. Another one was Jaeger bombs. Jaeger bombs was a huge one for me. I think it's because I was just a Jaeger bomb guy.
So in the barracks, that's what you guys were. Yeah, that's like your smell.
You know why? Because I think you're a Marine and you hear. Did you ever hear the rumor that Jaeger bomb has like deer blood in it?
Yes, I heard that.
Because they got the deer with the antlers on the bottle.
Yeah,
and
that's why it's so dark.
Drinking
deer
blood. That's fucking badass.
That is badass.
That's so badass.
It's like the only form of black licorice that's tolerable, I would say.
Oh, God.
That's true. And then just the smell of General ass. For me personally, I think the one smell that I could still remember and have it in my little olfactory senses is whenever I think of this bongo van that we had in Japan. I remember getting dropped. We had, whenever I first got to Okinawa, you get picked up by whatever section is going to take you, and like you're going to be part of their platoon or whatever. Well, one of my corporals showed up, and there's this bongo van, and it looks kind of like the Scooby-Doo van.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little bit Scooby-Doo-ish, and they slide the door open. There's like 3 dog kennels in the back, and whenever I got in, everybody else is having a good time. They're talking, they're eating, they're doing whatever, and they're like introducing themselves to me. I'm introducing myself to them, and I'm like struggling to breathe because it smells so bad.
Yeah.
And they're not acting like it bothers them at all. And I'm like, oh my God, how are they even talking in here? It smells
totally nosebine to it.
So bad. And then after a while, it took me like 3 months. Then we picked up other new people.
Yeah.
And I was like, he's struggling with the smell.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember that back in the day. Those are good. And you also said Febreze on field day because that's the making things smell good is like cleaning to, I think, a lot of guys in the barracks. So half-assed cleaning job, but then just spray the shit out of everything with Febreze and make it smell like it's clean. I know for me, the burn pit smell will be forever ingrained in my mind for my first deployment. There was a lot of small outposts where literally it was like the burn pit, a mud wall, and then like me sleeping right next to it. And the smell of like burning rubber, plastic shit, all that stuff, just there's a very specific like, as you're smelling it, you're like, this isn't good.
I wish that's why I wish that they had like a scratch and sniff movie. You know, like whenever in Jarhead, when Swafford is standing there, and I forget who plays the officer. He comes out, he's a lieutenant colonel, and he says, put that back in there, Swafford. I'm not walking across camp to take my morning glory. And Swafford already has like the diesel fuel burning the shit, and he's stirring it. I wish that civilians at that point could just walk up to their TV, scratch and sniff it, and be like, oh, that's why they complain about burn pits.
Yeah, that's what it smells like. That smell will forever. A lot of my smells were like deployment smells. It smells that every now and then I'll catch a hint of something here in New York City that I'm like, oh my God, that tastes. Burning
walk past
garbage.
The dumpster on 27th Ave.
Yeah, the Afghans would burn in their bazaars. They would burn the garbage a lot of times. So that the burn pits mixed with the burning garbage smell. And then we were always sitting on like these big Persian rugs. And if you ever smell one up close, that like there's a certain smell.
Chai tea will get you.
So I went into a store here that sells these beautiful Persian rugs, and I was like, oh my God, it took me right back. And then somebody else, I saw someone else say this, but they would get really cheap Chinese cigarettes and stuff called like Pines.
Yeah.
And they had a totally
What was your
different
go-to
smell.
deployment cigarette?
Pines.
Pines?
Pines
I was a Miami's guy.
I smoked so many Pines that like when it comes down to the time for like claiming burn pit stuff or whatever, I'm like, it's actually probably all the Pines I smoked.
Whenever you would go into somebody's house, like a local's house, did you ever see anything and they offer you and you were like, hell yes, I'll have that?
Well, the tea for sure.
I got offered 7-Up one time.
Stew?
They had
Ooh,
7-Up.
7-Up.
I was
Fancy
like, this
boys.
is fucking unbelievable. 7-Up.
All right.
Yeah.
I like it. Make it yours.
Yeah.
You know, make it yours.
My buddy Chris Diaz, who was killed in Afghanistan, I hadn't thought about this in years. He was a sick fuck.
Yeah.
Like just a straight up sick fuck. So we would have to clean all these dog kennels out all the time. And whenever you're grooming, there would be a grooming station where each day or every other day, all the dog handlers would take their dog out. They put them on this big pallet, and everybody did it in the same spot. Well, imagine what it looks like after 25 German Shepherds and you're de-shedding them, how much hair there is.
Yeah.
And so you have to get rid of it somehow. Normally you would put it in like a garbage bag or something like that and throw it away. Not Diaz. Diaz liked to burn it. So he would
burning hair.
And he would get this big mop bucket.
That's so unnecessary.
It really is.
So
and he would fill it with this hair, and he would sit on the bleachers. There's bleachers outside, so like our NCOs and shit like that could like evaluate what we were doing with the dogs.
Yeah.
And he would burn all of it. And I remember our guy.
He would just set it on fire, just like set a bucket of hair on fire.
Yeah, like so he would put like he would get like a roll up ball of like cardboard or something like that, light that on fire, and then put that in the middle of all the dog hair. And he would do it like just out sitting on the bench.
Yeah.
And I remember one of our sergeants came out one day. He did it like all the time. And Sergeant McDonald finally saw him doing it. And whenever he came out there, he's like, Diaz, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I'm just burning the hair, Sergeant. Like, I'm burning the hair. He's like, why the fuck are you doing that? Why don't you just throw it away? He's like, I just like the smell.
Ew, the smell of burnt hair.
Burnt
like
dog hair.
Turd covered in burnt hair.
Burnt dog hair. And he would like legitimately sit by it like it was his incense. Like he would just hang out and smell it.
Okay.
Diaz is a wild card.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.